Hey everybody, Mr. D back again. It's Tuesday, March 31st. Back again with another reading activity you can do at home. I hope everybody's doing well, enjoying doing their learning at home. Today is actually a special day across the US. It's actually National Crayon Day. Okay, celebration of crayons. You know, people love to draw, people love to color, both kids and adults alike. So it's definitely National Crayon Day, something that you should be celebrating hopefully today by doing a little coloring around your house. Um, there's a lot of good books about crayons. I know a lot of the kids in class were like The Day the Crayons Quit or The Day the Crayons Came Home. But this is like one of Connie's all-time favorite books. It's called Harold and the Purple Crayon. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you, and we're going to talk a little bit about how Harold really loves his crayon, what some of the things that he did with it, and then I'll show you a small little writing activity that you could do at home to help you write about crayons. You can also write in crayon, which would be fun. So just getting better all the time. Okay, so Harold and the Purple Crayon. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight, and he needed something to walk on. He made a long straight path so he wouldn't get lost, and he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long straight path, so he left the path for a shortcut across a field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. But they're purple. This guy loves purple. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Suddenly he realized what was happening, but by then Harold was over his head in an ocean. He came up thinking fast, and in no time he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid a nice, simple picnic lunch. There was nothing but pie, but there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see, so he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. He was tired and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped, and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. Ah! But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon. He made a balloon, and he grabbed onto it. And he made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. As he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed, then suddenly Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped on the floor, and Harold dropped off to sleep. Now that Harold, he really loved that purple crayon. What's one thing you could say about Harold as a character? If it was me, I would say he was very creative because he drew windows, he drew a forest, he drew 9 different kinds of pie. He had a great imagination. You know, I could say he was funny because of all the things that he thought of. He was, smart to build that balloon when he was falling in thin air. So those are ways you can describe Harold. But one thing that you could also do to do a little writing activity with this is, just make a little writing activity out of it. So here's what I wrote, just to kind of summarize the whole thing up. When we want to summarize it up, we just want to get the main points, okay? So here's what I wrote, okay? Harold loved that purple crayon. He drew so many things with it. That crayon was like magic for him, okay? That just kind of tells me a little bit about like why Harold loved that crayon. He loved that crayon so much, he drew so many things with it. It was like magic for him. He was able to build like a whole city. He was able to build a forest. He was able to build a mountain. So he was super creative. And then on the bottom, all you have to do is just make 3 little boxes. What are 3 crayon colors that you liked? And I used my 3 crayons that I have with me here today to help me draw that. If I could just find them in my pocket. There they are. Okay, so I took out blue, right? Blue is my favorite color. So I thought of I just colored a box of blue. You could draw a sky or something or whatever you reminds you of that color. And I put blue. I wrote the color of the name of the color, and I wrote the word best there because that helps me remind that that's my favorite. Then I took the green. Okay, I took the green right there. Ooh, right there, green. And I drew a little shamrock. And you can see I wrote the word green and I wrote the word family. Okay, just like Blythe taught us, father and mother, I love you, family. That reminds me of my family because, my mom is Irish and my dad's Italian and their green is in their flag. So I do that too. And then last but not least, I took the yellow, okay, and the yellow right there. I wrote the word yellow and I wrote the word bright, okay, because who doesn't like it when it's sunny outside? Everybody seems to be happier when the sun is outside. So just picking 3 crayon colors, especially here on National Crayon Day, and telling why you like it would be a really good activity to do at home, okay? And, reading any book about the crayon itself would be great, okay? So Harold and Purple Crayon, a fan favorite all the time. So boys and girls, thanks a lot for watching another episode of Learning at Home with Mr. D. We did some great reading and writing as well today. As long as you keep doing that, you're going to keep getting better every single day, okay? So enjoy National Crayon Day. See you here tomorrow.